Hi guys, I'm Soumya and I'm back again with another video. I hope you're all well and safe. So I talk a lot about books on this channel. So if you are a book lover, then you can hit that subscribe button because that will really help me and I'll really appreciate it. So in today's video, I am going to review a book which was sent to me by the author, and that book is The Disappointing Five: When Failures Turn into Heroes by Bo Banga. So let's get started. So this story is taking place in a city called New Dwarka, and it's a story about 5 students studying in 12th standard in St. Xavier's High School. This is a young adult novel. So there is Akash Malhotra, who is an introvert and who is silent most of the times. He likes to keep to himself. And then there is Dhruv Kapoor, who is this 6 feet 1 inch tall jock. And Dhruv has a lot of physical strength and he's also a bully in a way. Then there is Sunaina Mahapatra, who is a model student. She is responsible and she is also good in studies. So together these 3 students form a trio that other students fear and despise in equal measure. Then there are 2 more students that are important in the story. One is Bindya Shah and the other is Robin Alberto. So Bindya Shah is the rich and beautiful girl who is good at everything, and Robin Alberto is a nerd who's Bindya's best friend, and he's quite good at studies, but he's also popular among girls because of his good looks and his blue eyes. So this trio and this duo, they are 2 groups of friends who really stand out in their school, and that is why they are the focal point of the story. But even within themselves, these people are keeping secrets from each other. So ultimately, this is a story of 5 17-year-olds who are trying to overcome their personal challenges. And also in the background of the story, a situation of child trafficking is going on, and these 5 brave teenagers get involved in that situation. So are they going to be able to get out of it or not? And what about their personal challenges? Will they overcome them or not? So that's the story. Even though this is a young adult novel, it's a story about 5 17-year-olds. So now talking about my reading experience. So this story tackles a wide array of topics. It talks about what it means to be a man. It talks about LGBT. Then there is the topic of depression, teenage pregnancy. So overall, this book is not a light read at all. In fact, the vibe of this book is quite heavy. So right in the beginning, this book has a warning, and it talks about how this work of fiction talks about depression, alcoholism, smoking and teenage sex. So it also warns the reader to not emulate these things in their own lives. Now I would like to add one more thing to that, which is that there are incidents and points in this book which can be triggering for certain readers. I will not say that this book is extremely explicit. No, that's not the case, but definitely it is on the bolder side. And if you are an adult and you believe that teenagers should behave in a certain way, then this book can be a shocker for you. And if you are a teenager, then you will relate to this book directly as well as indirectly. Directly in the sense because at the end of the day, the characters in this book are all in school, so there will be some sort of relatability there. But at the same time, some of their actions are quite extreme. So as a teenager, you might not be indulging in those actions yourselves, but you might know somebody who is. So in that way, you can relate to this book indirectly as well. In any case, the book offers an initial warning, and I have also told you what this book contains in terms of topics. So as a reader, now you can make an informed choice as to whether you want to go for this book or not. So this book does talk about some serious topics, but that does not mean that it is completely devoid of light moments. In fact, there were moments here and there that were kind of wholesome, and they even made me emotional. I did not cry, but I was definitely moved, so that was great. So one thing worth mentioning about this book is that while reading it, you can't help but feel that the theme of this book is not exactly brand new, because essentially it's a story about 5 misunderstood teenagers. So this as a concept is not something that is fresh out of the oven, but at the same time, the way the story has been handled, it is definitely gripping. Yes, there are points every now and then that you come across in this book that make you feel that, oh my god, it's getting a bit cliched. But then when you read further on, you realize that there are some layers to this book that add to a newness in this individual story. I wanted to know what was going to happen next, so it was entertaining. It is kind of filmy in the sense that it has drama. Now the writing in this book is not bad at all. In fact, it's pretty decent. And if I talk about the editing errors, yes, there are editing errors, but there are not so many that they can spoil your reading experience. There is a discrepancy here. On the back cover, it says that Robin Alberto has blue eyes, but on page 145 of this book, it says that he has hazel eyes. So I hope this discrepancy gets fixed in the editions that will come out in the future. As for the characters in this book, they are definitely a bit unrealistic, I must admit, but at the same time, they are fun to read about. I would like to mention this again, that there are certain situations in this book that can be triggering for certain readers. This book talks about depression, and also it has situations that involve violence. So since they triggered me to some extent, I want to put this out for you to know as well. So if you have watched this review and I've told you everything about this book, what I liked, what I didn't like, and the triggering part as well, if keeping all that in mind you want to go for this book, if the story is attracting you, then I want to say that you can, because definitely it's a gripping story. So that was my review of The Disappointing Five: When Failures Turn into Heroes by Bo Banga. So if you want to check this book out, I leave the link for that in the description box. If you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye, take care and stay safe.